Okay, so we're about to get stopped out break even here on my combine accounts. I actually did not think I was going to take a trade today. Um, After I missed the first setup of the day that I already made a video on and journaled in the daily recap video. This is gonna. I'll explain why I entered this one, and it was a nice trade.
Order
You know, the
filled.
break even made a lot of sense. My entry was a little bit higher on my fill's a little worse on my express account, so I was already out with this candle. But anyways, let's go over the trades. So the 5 minute that I missed for the short was this. Okay. But then we got a nice resweep of the lows and a nice reaction off the lows. My initial bias at this point when we were inside this 5 minute was, can I get a continuation to the downside off of this 5 minute? Maybe a continuation model setup like this one was, but with a 15-minute candle. This would be with a 5 minute. And the reason I like the short is because, I mean, there's really nothing else to come for in the near term as far as long term, or as far as long targets. We have previous daily low that hasn't been taken yet, which is a nice area to take shorts to. Previous daily high was taken. There was a sweep here as well. And then again, like I said in the daily recap video, there's really the next closest target is like all the way up here, 200 points away or more, 300 points at this point. So longs were not that great until I saw that we actually ended up inversing this 5 minute, and we, at this point, I was okay with taking longs, especially since we had this 5 minute here that I was thinking to myself, you know, at the very least, I'll be able to break even, which that's what ended up happening. I did not think there was a world where we inverse this 5 minute, had a nice resweep of the lows here, and we're not going to at least pump to the 5 minute and reject off of that level. My take profit was these equal highs, which ended up being a nice area to TP and another reason to enter this long, but was also the entire reason or main reason I didn't enter the short that I missed. It was one of a couple reasons, but I again said in that daily recap video, not even in hindsight. I know hindsight, oh, it was a winning trade, I should have taken it. I should have taken it because this is a trade I would have taken backtesting. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to take every trade I would take backtesting. This is another trade I would have taken backtesting, so I'm glad I took it here. However, on my Express account, on my funded, I did not risk too much. I risked one contract, so, you know, half of what I normally risk on this setup, because we were not reacting from a higher level or higher time frame fair value gap. Had we swept this area of liquidity and we tapped into like a 15-minute fair value gap over here, or 1 hour fair value gap, or a 4 hour, we're inside of nothing. That was the reason I chose to take less risk on the funded. I took the same amount of risk I would normally take on the combines because I'm trying to pass them, and I don't really give a fuck if they. I'll just buy more because I get rebuild anyways. Who cares? But yeah, that's the setup. Break even, obviously valid break even with the 5 minute fair value gap here. Clearly, it was valid because we're rejecting off of it very nicely at this point. Could we continue higher from here? Sure, but I mean, I'm happy with how the trade ended up playing out, how I had managed the trade, and that's really that. That was the setup today. Again, it was one of two setups. Stinks that the setup I chose not to take was the one that ended up being a winner, and the one I chose to take ended up being break even. But that's why I have to be less emotional. I don't know if emotional is the right word. Like, I'm not like sitting here like, oh, should I enter? I don't know if emotional is the right word. That's the word I'm going to use. Like, take emotions out of it. Ask yourself a simple question. Would you take this backtesting? Yes? Okay, take the trade. No? Okay, don't take the trade. You shouldn't even be thinking to take it if you wouldn't take it back testing. And the reason I say that is because I have so many hours logged back testing with this model, and the data just proves itself again and again to be solid over long periods of time, even over short periods of time, but especially long periods of time. So take the damn trade if you know you would take it back testing. So disappointed that I didn't take the first trade today. Happy with myself, the way I managed risk and the way I took the second setup of the day. And that is that. Hopefully tomorrow will bring us a setup to end the week. If not, it was a solid week because we are currently in the green on the week, so that's nice. And that is that.